Hi there, my name's Rick Chapman. Today we're going to do a transmission oil and filter change on a 2006 Mini Cooper R53 motor. First of all, we're going to get to the fill-up point, make sure we can undo the bolt, and we can work out how we're going to get the tube in before we drain the oil. The fill-up point is a Torx 55 I mean. I'm going to try and zoom in. There it is there. Couldn't quite focus on it, but it's that Torx head there we need to undo. So stand by and we'll show you how we set something up. Yeah, we had to use a UJ, universal joint, on a Torx 55, and just trying to get the camera a little bit, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, we've got the plug loose. Take the tool out. You can see that down there, and now we need to get a magnet or some mechanical fingers. And yeah, we're going to take the air inlet hose to the air box off, because you just need to get your hand in there to pick up the plug. And we're going to see if we can get. I'll hold this out of the way. Let's see if you can get in there and get your hand in there to pick up the plug. There it is, there's the plug. So what we're going to do now, we haven't drained the oil. We're going to see if we can set up something to fill the transmission up. It's all well and good draining the oil out, but if you can't put the oil back in, you're snookered. So we've made up a funnel, and we got some nylon tubing, and it fits perfect. So we're going to fit that down from the top into the filler point. Go on. Right, that's that sorted. Now we're going to raise the vehicle up in the air, and we're going to drain the oil. Right, now here's the fun part. We're going to drain the oil out. This is our first time doing it on the Mini R53. So we don't have to do this, but we're gonna measure the oil that comes out. But it's probably going to make a mess. So let's go for it.
Temperature.
Get it in there. Make sure it's secure. That's it. Actually, hold it there. Let's just lift this up a little bit taller. I'm going to count as we do it, you know, pour it away. Oh yeah, that's going to get out of the way, isn't it? Oh mate. Look at the colour of that. It really needs changing. Now in this vehicle, it's not the CVT transmission, it's the other automatic. We haven't found a data plate on the car, but we think it's the AISIN Japanese transmission that's in it with the torque converter. And look at that oil, look how dark that is. And how many miles do you reckon this oil's been in there?
I believe it was probably the original. So over 130,000.
This oil could have been in here under 130,000, but so anyway, that's 1 litre in the jug. I thought we was going to have more come out of there, but we got to undo the under tray, and the under tray's got 3 screws, and they're like on a speed thread, and they come out pretty quick. So anyway, I'm going to pour this away because we know how much came out of it. There's the drain plug. I don't know if you can see that. It's a magnetic plug. And yeah. Yeah, they're self-explanatory, these screws. You just undo them. They've got like a little clip on it so they don't fall out. And got another one here, another 2 here.
Watch this will come all the way out.
I was hoping. Okay, there is some more bolts here. Now you've had the bumper off here before,
right.
Haven't you?
So you can pause that.
Is that a nut and bolt this? Or is it a capsule?
It's just straight. Yeah, it'll come out.
Oh, this one's coming out easier. I'm going to get some sprayed up with some spray.
Yeah, just see what happens there.
Right, we've undone these subframe bolts. Once these subframe bolts are undone, it moves, and it allows you enough room to undo one of the torque screws, which is really it's difficult if you don't undo these 2 bolts here. So we're undoing the torque screw, and the rest of the screws should be pretty straightforward. They're like 10mm socket. So as you can see, we're levering this part of the subframe away with an extension bar, and we're undoing the screw. Right, we got trouble undoing one of the screws. It's really difficult to get on another torque screw on the oil pan. So what I've done, I've gone around and I've loosened all the bolts on the subframe. It hasn't dropped. So, because it hasn't dropped, I'm going to see if I can lift up the engine a little bit. Now, It's possible you could do this with a trolley jack if you had the car up on jack stands, but that's what I'm going to attempt next. Well, okay, it didn't go to plan. It wasn't that easy getting to the screw, so what we had to do was we had to start taking subframe bolts out, and we've taken out 3, 6, 7, 8. We've taken out 8 bolts, and anything else we've loosened. There's a mount for the engine, and as you can see it, I've taken that bolt out. Anything to loosen it up, and we've managed to loosen it. So what we're doing now, this is a bit of a two-man job. We've got one of us is barring the transmission over just a little bit, just to undo the screw. In actual fact, I could see that other garages who are doing this job would probably put a 10mm bolt in here, you know, with a 10mm head on it, because it's just, it is difficult, because the Torx bit is actually not on it square, but we've managed to break the torque, and it's coming out. Alright, stop a minute, we're going to get, I think I've got to get something bigger in there. I'll just pull it. What we got? Ready?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. Much better. Alright, hold on, it's about to come in.
Alright, I've got to screw out. It looks like that. I don't know if that's focusing good, but yeah. This is one of the bolts I had to remove. I loosened these 2 subframe bolts but left them in. Possibly you could take them out. I thought there wasn't any need to. But here at the back, yeah, I took them out. They're all the same length. They came out, and the subframe on the other side. Also, there is another bolt there. Undone that. And on the back of the control arm, there's a bush, and I'll totally remove that bolt, and you've got one the other side as well. Here's another shot at the oil pan. So we got all the difficult screws out, so now the rest are pretty straightforward. Okay, we're back on the oil pan. We had some bad news, and we didn't just go in there like a bull in a china shop and just start going crazy with the bolts. Me and my buddy here, we got a good feel for nuts and bolts, and we felt that one of them was tight, and we were working it backwards and forwards, yeah, and one of them snapped. There was another one that was tight at the front here, and we worked that one backwards and forwards, and we stopped the job and went and lowered the vehicle down, and we set up some tube with some WD-40, and we ran the WD-40 down, and it works. So what we got now, we're just undoing the rest of the bolts, which are basically the easy ones on the side. So Yeah, just carry on and take that down, Dave. To be honest, I thought this was going to be a lot more straightforward, but we were up for the challenge, and the car needed this oil change. It was, you know, it was well overdue, and so I'm hoping that the snap bolt, there's enough part of the shank of the bolt left sticking out so we can get some grips on it or something, but we'll find out.
No, it might have a little bit of something to work with. Not much at all. But
Okay then, so let's see if we can get it off.
all right.
Yep.
You want video or no?
Yes, on.
Alright, now let's just come out a little bit. Hold the light for a second.
Yep.
This is the part where it's try to get on the oil filter itself. Watch your face.
Might have to get the transmission jack and raise up the engine a little bit. What do you think? Is it getting to that point?
It's close, yeah, it's real close. See it sitting right here. And
Hold on, something's happening now.
slide it over this way because it's all will come directly.
Really needed a change, didn't it? Yeah. Got to enjoy that, new oil in it.
Yeah. No, okay, it looks the same. Yeah.
Okay, hold that press. I think I might pull this sucker out.
It's just laying on the air conditioner hose.
Is it? Oh, here we go.
It's just how to get it back up in there without pinching. Oh, yeah, you got something to work with.
Are we?
Yeah, this whole peg it rusted in. So that is still in there.
All right, that's good.
Wow.
I'm going to show you the oil pan here. So hold on, I'm just trying to get it in the camera. There, you see that? The tube? That's the level tube. When the oil rises above that and goes down, and when it stops draining down that tube, that's when the oil level's correct. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on. And it's got a couple of magnets in there. You can see one, and there's another one up the top, lower. So we're going to clean that oil pan out. Right, you can clean the pan out. I'm going to take the oil filter down.
Alright.
Okay.
Smells like burnt? Big time. Trash in here.
That's what.
That was another magnet. I'm like, oh shit.
No, that was a tool.
So whatever transmission this is.
Yeah, I'm going to show you the broken bolt. As you can see, I'm going to try my best to zoom in on it. Just trying to get the camera. It's in and around there. There it is, there's the broken bolt. I'm going to wire brush it and WD-40 it, and then I've got some tricks I'm going to. Okay, we had a bit of trouble, one of the bolts was broken. Luckily, it gave us a shank to work with. So this is, just see if you can focus on that. I don't know if the camera will zoom in on that, but that's the bolt. And what I basically did, I hit the bolt with a stick, drift and a hammer just to shock it in the housing. And I got a wire brush and wire brushed it around and got a decent pair of vice grips. And I just clamped it, and we started working it backwards and forwards. And yeah, it started to come out, and eventually we got it out. So we had a bit of luck there, so we can carry on. Let's get the okay. Let's get the oil. Let's get the oil pan on, the oil filter. That's it. As soon as they're snugged, that's good. Okay? Alright. Let's get the oil pan on. Let's give it a try.
You want to see as far as the show.
Yeah.
The magnets cleaned. And
We've got the we cleaned the pan, and the magnets. The magnets are back in. Don't forget to put the magnets back in. There you go.
this is where we got to fight to get it back in without pinching anything, right? I got 4 in my hand, so one, probably get that, try to get it forward. Okay, this is where gotta come up. Okay. Basket popped off.
Yeah, I'll put it back on.
Okay.
Massage it in.
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh, did we have to move it a little bit? Did we jack the engine up last time?
Probably. I thought we. Too much. Okay, you're all the way forward, right? But now, I get it to come back, up and back. This is electronic shit, right? Yeah, we gotta
Jack it up.
a little bit. We gotta lower the car down too. We gotta
Yeah.
watch the camera. Alright. Yeah, check out your headlight, see if it's going down inside.
Oh shit. So we're filling, isn't it? Look at that. Oh mate, it's a slow one, isn't it? With the oil in it. That is definitely the level one, isn't it? The fill up point.
Yeah, I put an angle on the tube at the bottom where it's getting some air, kind of a slant.
How much is it leaking though out?
It's not making it to the ground yet. Where's that? That's slow. Slow. But it is going in though.
Oh, it's going in, yeah. Can you see? I'm going to pour a bit more.
Go ahead. No. Yes. Okay, now do it now. Now I can actually see. And I pulled it out a little bit so I can, oh, yeah, it's a slow process. Guess if you could force it down.
I think to take the speed sensor out.
You talk about like a tube going all the way in it and turned upside down and squeezing it, like forcing it in.
Yeah. What, through there?
Yeah, the tube
only through that point?
Yeah, the tube would have to be real tight though. Maybe I can hack the top up and get it.
I might have a bigger tube. Okay. I'm gonna. Right. Well, we tried putting in oil from the top, but the hole that it has to drain through is probably about 6 millimeters, but it's just not. It's just taking too long. So we're forcing it through the oil pan, which is working pretty good with this pump, which I got from Amazon. And it screws straight onto a quart container. And so far, we've put, this is the third quart going in now. But yeah, it has made a mess on top of the transmission because it took too long. So it's dripping down the back of the transmission onto my arm. And we're going to fill up another one. And this is the oil that we're using. It's ATF 3309. Right. Still working, isn't it? Yep.
It was 3, 4.
How many did you get for it? You've got 3 on the table there that are empty.
Yeah, the table is empty, so we got 4 in there. 4. So as soon as I remove this, it's going to come through the overflow.
I think we should stick 4 in and then we'll do our level check.
See, I think it's going to come out. Yeah, start running through the gears. I don't want to do level check yet until it goes through gears and then.
Yeah.
How much more you got there? When I pull this out, it's going to come right in.
That's it, we're done.
Alright. I'm trying to let this thing quick, because I know it's going to go through the overflow.
Yeah.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Definitely not a 10-minute job.
So we've got the drain plug back in, and we're gonna start the car up, run it through the gears, and we should really get the scan tool on there and watch the temperature. Good sign. It's in park, isn't it? Yeah. And that starts. Right, we've got it up to temperature. We're draining it, and when it starts to stop dripping, we're good. You can see a steady stream coming out. It's getting smaller and smaller, isn't it? It's probably because that temperature's gone up. It's gone out the max now, isn't it? Yeah. I'd say put it back in. Okay.